Yeah.
Like saying, I'm greatly, like at the bottom, greatly influenced by, or, you know what I mean?
Give some kind of credit to
some
say,
kind of credit to say this is where this came from.
Yeah.
And what happens a lot, we were talking about covers. You know, the other day you were talking about, the Got You song you was just talking about.
Yeah.
We can use that as an example. Sometimes you go years thinking that this artist made this song, and then you never knew, because nowhere in the song, like when you went on Spotify, when you went online, when you bought the record, nowhere does it say this is the artist that actually wrote the song. You know, I mean, maybe in the record, I don't know. I've never actually gone. Who
that
goes?
was the whole thing on our very first podcast we talked about with
Right.
Radiohead.
Right.
And then you had who was the artist? The girl,
Lana Del Rey. She did
Lana
the
Del Rey, and she had her song in the beginning. It was almost like Creep.
Right.
And we talked with our friend Stu, and we're like, okay, what constitutes
Right.
influence? And
I think there's a difference between influence and inspired by,
Right.
like, or anything that you hear can influence you, right? Anything that you hear can influence your style and things like that. But then there's things, I said inspired, but it's not what I meant. It was then there's like actually using something that's
in this Tool situation, they almost copied scene by scene.
They
and
copy the style 100%.
Yeah.
You know? The style is copied. And now who's to say that guy didn't copy that style for someone else? But at one point you're like, it does. I'm talking about a feeling now. You know what I mean? This is not something you could probably take to court or anything like that. This is feeling of this person was kind of gypped. You know, like this got ripped off because they are super famous and he's famous within his circle of artists. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you see someone like, if you saw something in a video that reminds you of Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's a great actor.
Yeah, he influenced a lot of people. If you see something that like Leonardo da Vinci, right? Like if you see like a Mona Lisa.
Wait, with your accent, do that again because that sounds really good.
What was it? Leonardo da Vinci. So if you see something that looks like the Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna know it's influenced by, that this is not influence. This is like a tribute to.
Right.
That's what the word I was saying.
Tribute.
There's a difference between.
I'm gonna take that word tribute.
Influence.
I'm gonna squeeze it in. Before.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a difference between influence and tribute.
Yeah.
A tribute should be, it's like a copy of what you're doing. Influence sounds like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think in a lot of situations where you're paying tribute, if you're paying tribute to something, you should let people know that it's a tribute to that, right?
Yeah.
Not an influence that you might not have known about. You know?
Right. Brett, you're out there. I want you to go on our Facebook page and give your input about this as an artist. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, like if I seen Brett's work, if I went and started doing something exactly like it and never told anybody that it's because I saw Brett's work,
right?
I feel that there's something morally wrong with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, but I kind of want to rant.
All right. So going with this Tool video, what's the craziest, most disturbing video you could think of? Would it be that Tool video, or can you come up with something else?
Most disturbing video.
You want me to give my answer?
Yeah,
and
give me your answer so I can think about it, and maybe it'll.
9 Inch Nails, Closer.
That was a good one.
That was a creepy.
With the cockroaches and eating, like.
Yeah, he's got these weird goggles, and it was just
I remember. I
love weird, and I know he hated that song because it was like this frat boy anthem.
Oh yeah.
But it was such a beautiful song.
No, it's a great song. That exploring that part of your humanity. You know, I think there's there's a part of us that seeing that stuff is it's guttural, but you know what I mean. But it's part of the art of it. I thought it was a great video, and I think there was a couple Marilyn Manson videos back in the day that kind of freaked me out a little bit because like his teeth. Like, I mean, his cheeks pulled apart.
Beautiful people.
No, wait, I just said his cheeks pulled apart. I meant his face.
His cheeks. Yeah, I'm sure
there's one in there probably where he had his cheeks pulled apart. But I meant his face, where he had wiring in his mouth. And
yeah, was it The Beautiful People?
Yeah. I love The Beautiful People. It was such a great song.
Yeah.
It broke the monotony of that time, I think. Because it was right after, Nirvana was already gone,
Yeah.
And we had, a lot of, Oh God! And I remember this interview because I remember this interview with Marilyn Manson, and I love Marilyn Manson. I don't know all his music, but I just love his attitude. I love who he is. You know.
I read one of his books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fascinating dude.
All right, he's smart. I remember seeing him going on Bill Maher and just being smarter than everybody in that room. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like Bill Maher's pretty smart dude, but like he, the other people that were there, and
Yeah, don't take his Talking Dead episode. I mean, he was weird on that episode.
Really?
He's a really smart guy.
I never saw that, but yeah, he's
Jack
super
Osborne
smart.
was like looking at him like, "You too weird."
Yeah, maybe he was on something that day, But he I felt that in that time there was a lot of Smash Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Hey now,
I like
Roxanne.
Smash Mouth.
I do too, but it
Yeah.
was a time where it was like Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
I just want to fly, which it was a beautiful moment in time, where it was like everybody was so happy. There was Sugar Ray, Smash Mouth, Lit, which I love,
Yeah.
but everything was very poppy. There was that what's that song? You gotta get what you give, don't you?
Oh,
tell
yeah.
yourself. You know what I mean?
Is it MC5 or something like that? Or, no.
Anyway, so there was a lot of that music where it was very poppy, very VH1. There was a VH1 moment where it was just everything was, and then Marilyn Manson comes with his song.
It's dirty. It's
yeah.
It's not your parents' music. That's
And
for sure.
remember there was an interview where they asked him, how do you feel about like Smash Mouth and other bands like that? And he goes, you just see his face. He doesn't want to which he's smart. He's like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want to bash them, but at the same time, he's like, this is a different type of art. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just feel good kind of stuff. This is like guttural stuff that comes from deep within, and
Yeah.
So I thought he was really cool that he didn't bash him. He didn't want to say he was like they're cool.
Well, so he's a lot about the art.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he does, he tries to reinvent himself. Every album with something different because he's
Right.
influenced by something he's been reading or watching, and
Right.
I think that's great. Is that he's trying different things.
Right. I mean, I haven't seen any of his newer stuff in the last year. I mean, I'm talking about when I was like 18. When
He's got a new song out,
yeah.
and I watched the video, and it was supposed to be crazy and everything. I think we talked about last episode.
Well, the Dope Show was a good video too.
Oh,
We
yeah.
Are Real Stars. I think that was the last video I ever saw.
Yeah, the new one, he's got Courtney Love
really?
in the video, and it's. I think that you get to a point where you're not shocking anymore. I mean,
yeah.
Eminem,
You're doing
what can Eminem do these days that is so shocking? Who's he going to make fun of now?
right, and I think he's over that piece of his life. I think, right? Like, I hope he is. He's like 40 something now, right? Like,
Yeah, where's his anger and
Right.
everything?
yeah, he's still there, but I think he's aiming it differently now. Like, I think when he was 22, 23, yeah, you want to make fun of Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, whatever, Carson Daly, whatever.
You're right.
But if you're still shooting fish in a barrel and you're 40 something,
Yeah.
you got to reassess.
So I saw, speaking of people, where are they now? Fred Durst.
Oh man,
He's directing now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's a director.
what has he directed? He's
You can go on IMDb.
Traffic.
Nailed it. That was a good one. No, he's directing movies now.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
He has I liked Limp Bizkit, and they had great moments in time, and then he just kind of. I remember seeing him live, and he was already losing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was. I see him live, and he was like, "We're not like he was having a Fiona Apple moment at the Grammys where he was like yelling at us like, "This is not real. We're not fake people." Like, and it was like, okay, he's having a meltdown. Like,
I remember MTV Music Awards, and Rage Against the Machine lost the video, and the bass player climbed up on
I remember
this
that.
structure, and Durst was the one presenting, and he's just like, jump!
yeah.
And I think it was at that point that Zach De La Rocha was like,
I'm
no,
done.
I'm out. This is not for me.
Was it because they lost that he would climb that thing?
I believe so.
Okay. Because I remember seeing Kid Rock saying like, "What are we so angry about it?" I mean, Rage Against the Machine is one of my favorite bands, and their music is
Yeah.
like not only their music but their lyrics and what they stand for. is 1,000 times better than what Kid Rock stands for or Limp Bizkit stands for.
Yeah.
So I saw them not getting it. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the bass player's problem in that situation was, but they took that as I think a moment to kind of bash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To bash like Rage Against the Machine. Like, oh, what are we fighting against? What about?
Yeah.
How about you like listen to the music and they'll tell you what? While you're like redoing Sweet Home Alabama, they're actually writing music that actually
has
means something.
meaning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's
So,
really
I
the
lean
reason.
to say I hate Kid Rock.
It's okay. It's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
I think actually that's a great place to end this podcast on. I don't think anything's gonna be more poignant.
Don't go back. Don't go look at any videos with Kid Rock in it. That's my recommendation.
Okay, wait. Except for "Ba to the Ba," that was pretty good. But anything else is out.
Okay, this podcast is done. This was our last episode because Scotty just
We're no longer friends.
no longer friends.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to wrap up? Anything exciting going on in your life?
In my life,
Yeah.
let's see. No.
Me either.
Yeah.
So,
Well, actually, I think you've had some exciting things happen this weekend, and we should at least. This is bonus material. You can turn off the episode's over. You can turn it off, but I really like to talk about Scotty's recent trip.
I had an adventure. My wife and I,
Uh-huh.
we went to a wedding out in California,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in LA. We
Mhm.
saw our first celebrity sighting. We were at a dinner, and Rob Schneider was there at the dinner.
You need to build it up. I wanted to build up to.
Build
It's Raj.
You can do it.
I hope, I wish that he would have said that during the wedding. Like when he says "I do," he should have been. He should have. If I was him, I would totally have done it.
He did give a toast.
Oh, he
and-
did?
Yeah, and he didn't do the "You could do it." He gave a really good toast. It was really
Okay.
funny. And I talked to him for a few minutes about his daughter is a musician. So
yeah. Hey, your daughter's hot.
so I chatted with him, and my wife was having a meltdown like, "That's Rob Schneider."
Yeah. I mean, how many movies has that dude been in that we've seen?
Name
know?
every Adam Sandler movie,
Yeah,
basically, and then there's some more.
Yeah, and some great movies. I think my favorite one he's in is 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
He's
the friend. That
yeah.
My dad loves him in Deuce Bigelow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's been in a lot of really good movies.
Right. I mean, good is a very subjective term when it comes to Rob Schneider.
If you like that kind of comedy. And the other celebrity, we went and we saw the taping of Conan O'Brien.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've watched or want to watch the episode with Jim Jeffries and Reggie Watts.
Did he remember you when he kissed you? Did you go up to him? Hey, remember me?
Jim, remember me?
Jim, remember my
this
face?
Is the cheek you kissed. No, I didn't say anything. But we were in the crowd, the audience, and enjoyed the show. That was pretty cool.
Did we ever talk about that? That me and you got kissed?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay, as long as people know.
Yeah, well, if this is the first time you're hearing this podcast, Rico and I went and saw Jim Jeffries at the Hard Rock, and then after he was hanging out at Murphy's Law, and being the nerds we are, we're like, "Hey, could we get a picture with you?" And he gave a picture and also gave us a big kiss on the cheek. So.
And big wet kiss too. He was all sweaty and
he was drunk. Yeah, so that was good times.
He's a cool dude, man. I really like Jim Jeffries, man.
Well, if anybody out there is listening from California, super had a good time in your state.
Yeah, I love going. I've been meaning to go back over there. I love Santa Barbara. That LA is awesome.
Yeah.
And that whole. I know I talk a lot about Chile, but it reminds me a lot about Chile. Like and it's the Chile of the United States. So
yeah. Well, next time going to Chile, you're gonna sneak me in there because I gotta have the bread and I want to have my awesome experiences.
There
so
you go.
We're going.
All right, sweet.
All right, everyone.
All right, see you guys. Have a good weekend.
Catch you later.